So I'm sitting here photographing the easiest books in my store yet again. The books that I'm listing are not the books that make me the most money. They're not. And I know that. I know these books that I'm listing, these piles of low-end 1999 books that are going into my store, I know that they don't make me enough money. But it's more that I'm pondering, why do I always choose them first as the tasks to do first in my day or to get through? The low-end books are easier. They take less brain power for me to do. So they pile up here the closest for me to work off. So then it's logical for me to just work through these piles that just keep growing. The low-end book piles keep growing faster than the high-end book piles. The high-end books are harder to find. However, in saying that, I've got a lot of high-end books and bundles here, not so much individual books anymore, but bundles. I got a lot of high-end bundles that are waiting me to photograph, and I procrastinate on them. They sit on there. Is it that I procrastinate on them? It's just that they get buried, or they need more brain power, or they're going to take me longer to be able to see as much of a result. So, for example, when I'm doing these low-end books and I'm photographing them, I can spend a couple of hours taking photos, listening to a podcast, and I can get through, many piles of these books. And at the end of that, I feel a sense of accomplishment. I can look at that and go, yay me, look how much I did. And it's almost like this psychological win, isn't it? I'm looking at it, high-fiving myself and feeling good about how much work I've done. However, I also know that the work that I'm doing and the books that I'm photographing aren't really the books that are going to move the needle in my store. They're not going to make me lots of money. They're not going to increase my daily sales revenues up very much. In fact, the more I just list lower end books into the store, like the sales kind of become quite stagnant because I'm still selling roughly the same amount of books every single day. But if I'm only selling the same amount of books every day and many of them are lower end items, then the revenue is not going to increase. So the way that the revenue will increase is simply by listing books with a higher average sale price and selling roughly the same amount, or I have to list and do way more volume to be able to make the same amount of money. But not only do I have to list volume and do volume, I have to find a way to be able to sell volume. You can list and do all this extra work, but if you're putting undesirable items into your store, it doesn't mean they're going to sell. And so there's this catch-22. You've got to be putting in desirable items to sell. So there's no point just increasing your volume or hitting a daily number goal. Let's say I want to list 30 a day. There's no point just listing 30 a day if they're low-end, undesirable items that are just for giving yourself a high five and saying, yay, I listed my 30 a day, goal accomplished. That's going to give you a hit of dopamine for sure. This is what happens to me. I finish these piles. I do a couple of hours of photography. I do these piles of low-end books that I move through fast like I'm doing now. I don't have to overthink them or photograph very much. It's just a simple process. So I do this for a couple of hours. I fill up a few new shelves. I feel like I eliminate a few big piles that are sitting here waiting to do. Then I feel good about myself. But that's a short-term dopamine fix because I'm not seeing long-term results from doing that. Do you know what I mean? I don't see long-term profit increases just from listing these low-end items. So as I sit here reflecting and pondering, it's easy for me to see when I think about it why I do actually go for the tasks that give me instant gratification. And a lot of ADHD people do search for dopamine hits because we're lacking dopamine. So we're out there actively seeking it. So it makes sense why I'm looking for these tasks to do. So it feels like I've done more in my day because when I am busy, it feels like I'm being productive. But being busy doesn't actually mean that I am actually being productive. It means I'm being busy, but it doesn't actually mean that it's moving the financial needle, which is the whole purpose of working this job. Nobody just wants to work grinding away on eBay to not make a financial reward. I don't think anybody would want to do that. I need to move away from doing these tasks that provide this instant gratification and kind of moving towards the tasks that, okay, yes, they're harder. Yes, I might not see the pile go down as fast, because when you list bundles of books, it's more time consuming. Like, so the pile I might photograph for an hour and do these individual books, and I'll eliminate like 3 big piles of, books from the floor up. Whereas if I photograph doing bundles for an hour, I might only do like 1 shelf, 1 shelf compared to 3 shelves. So it doesn't make me feel like I'm achieving as much. But at the end of the day, I need to be waiting for that delayed gratification, because the delayed gratification is the additional sales that will come with that and the extra money. And those tasks that are making the extra money are what's building the freedom, which is why we're doing this job. I'm doing this job to build a level of freedom for myself, and to build the level of freedom that I want, it requires money. So this has been a really, really hard thing for me to get my head around, because I'm always like, I'm not driven by money. But why do I keep self-sabotaging myself and the actual goals that I have by pulling back on things that do create money for me, or choosing to list the low-end items over all the high-end items that I've got sitting here waiting? Why am I actively listing this low-end stuff first? So it's not a matter of why am I listing it. Some of the low-end listings is bread and butter that I do want to continue to put into the store. But why am I listing it first? Why aren't I choosing to make that money first, to build that financial freedom first, to build it faster? And the financial goals relieve all the... It's not that I'm doing money for materialistic things. I'm not a materialistic person. I want more money so that I can build financial freedom, and so that I've got choices in my later life. And I'm choosing tasks to do first in my day that don't make me the most money. I need to be able to switch my mindset around from what tasks in my day make me the most money, and those are the tasks I should focus on first. So the books that are going to make me the most money, those are the books that need photographing first. Even if it means I'm doing less listings, it comes back to that whole less is more. I feel like I'm ranting at myself. It's like my own little pep talk here on camera. Oh my goodness. Like, sometimes it just, when you think about it and then you speak it, like, it all makes more sense. And Tom and I have been talking about this a lot the last couple of days. We've both been feeling a little bit stuck in our businesses, stuck in this hamster wheel. And Tom does way more volume than me. He's fully into volume. I don't know if I would class my business as volume, but I'm certainly putting more items into my store than I'm actually selling. The sell-through rate is lower than I would like it to be. So I didn't build this business to feel trapped in it. I've built this business to build freedom. So I think I need to start asking myself, well, what would future Mel want? What would future Mel benefit from? Not what would today's Mel benefit from, like that, woohoo, knocked out a pile, yay me, 1 less pile. Eventually I'll get through the piles anyway. What would future me thank me for today? Future me would be going, woohoo, look at all these high-end sales that I've got today because of the work that I did a couple of weeks ago listing high-end items. Future me wouldn't be going, yay, look at all these $15 sales today with small profits. Yay, good work the other day, Mel, eliminating those piles. It's such a change of mindset. So anyway, it's definitely what is probably the most on my mind at the moment. I guess now that I've eliminated the bulk pallets, cages of books that I had in here that were low end, that's what's got me thinking. That's what's got me here contemplating, right, that weight has gone from me and I feel so much more amazing now that that weight is gone. But what's the next step? And yes, I've got these books here that are sitting in piles and they're waiting to go, and I've got them all stacked up neatly here and they're easy to do, and that's why I'm still sitting here now, even though I'm making an entire video basically on saying, why are you photographing these books when you've got other ones better to photograph? Well, the system isn't quite set up for it, is it? Because I've already worked that out. When I moved all my bundles the other day to the back of the warehouse, because the bundles were all being buried under the low-end books, because the low-end books keep coming in. I've got sources, I've got regular deals with suppliers, and even without the cages, I've got regular deals where incoming books come in, and the low-end books are always in more abundance than the high-end books. So they just keep building up, and as the pile like this one would get finished, what I do, I keep bringing over more stacks, and it's just lower end stacks, lower end stacks. So the system isn't really working for me when I think about it, because one, it's not making it easy for me to photograph the bundles, but I need to change the mindset as well of, oh, I don't want to list bundles today. They're so much more time consuming. You know, I'd rather knock off all these books here, all these individual books, because they're all waiting. I've got to change the mindset to be listing these more higher end books. So after today, so contradictory, isn't it? As I sit here doing these cheap books. But I'm determined now. I'm going to get through these two piles, and then while I'm pondering a new system, like I've got to get the new system going. There's no doubt about it. I need a different system to be able to ensure that the high priority tasks are what I'm spending the most time on, even if it means getting through less of them. If I'm doing less tasks but making more money, that's a win. But I've got to wait for the delayed gratification of that win, which is hard for me because I like dopamine. But some of these items that I have been listing that have come from my bulk lots probably don't have the desired sell-through rate, all of them, that I would like. I'm simply listing them because I've got them. They're in good condition. They're here. They're quick to photograph. They're quick to list. But it's all good and well to say, yeah, these are quick to photograph and quick to list. But I'll assure you, it's not quick to photograph and it's not quick to list when you've got thousands of them. And those thousands that you've got waiting to do start bogging you down from all the stuff that's actually making you money. So there's a lot of food for thought going on. And also just thinking about my systems, because the way that I photograph is like the photography system, that's fine. My shipping system, that's fine. But there's a gap in my system somewhere from enforcing me almost to list the higher end items. What's the gap that's missing? I've got to make it easier for myself rather than harder, because otherwise I will go for those tasks that give me that instant reward. So I've got to somehow change the system along with my mindset. I've got to change the system and I've got to change the mindset. And it's the system that comes from the sort to the photography station. I think that's the system that needs changing and what I'm going to think about a little bit more. Meanwhile, I am feeling pretty good that I'm smashing these piles. Right. I'm going to finish doing these ones because that will have meant that I just eliminated one big pile. And then this bundle here, which is just a box set of 3 books, somebody messaged me on Instagram the other day, and obviously when I found this book set, I must have put it in a video. And so somebody messaged me on Instagram today and was like, is that listed yet? And I was like, no, but I know it's near the top of the pile now. And to be honest, this has been sitting on the bench in exactly the same spot. So it's been at the top of the pile for ever. But after I do these books today, I'm going to do that bundle just so that I can be like, Eat the Frog Mel, get started on one of these bundles. I don't know if anybody's ever read that book, but there's a really good book called Eat the Frog, self-help book. I think the author is called Brian Tracy from memory. I haven't actually had the book in my store for a very long time. It's not a book that I find very often. It's only a very thin book. I've got it in my personal collection. But yeah, it's definitely not a book that I find often. So it's probably one of those self-help books that people just keep. But Eat the Frog is basically getting the hardest task done of the day. And so I guess this video is a little bit about the hardest task of the day. I don't know if it's the hardest, but yeah, I really got to start focusing on the tasks that actually make money. I mean, how many times in our day do we get sidetracked, spending time doing things that don't make us any money? And how many times do we spend listing the easy stuff first that makes us less money just because it's easy? I reckon I'm not the only one. I reckon there's other resellers that are doing exactly the same as me. And maybe this video will inspire some other people to have a little look about, well, have you got stuff that's worth more in your death piles or your waiting to photograph pile? Have you got more stuff in there that's actually worth more money than the stuff that you're photographing and listing first? And maybe this will be a little reminder to everyone else and not just me. But that's always like what I hope for my videos, that sharing my journey will make you think about your journey and how maybe what I'm doing might be able to be scalable to your business and help you. But honestly, I really encourage you to start thinking about it, because I don't think reselling is getting any easier. I think it's getting harder. The charity shops have got their own websites now. This inventory is getting harder to find, especially the higher end inventory. I mean, we can all find lower end inventory, but it's getting harder and harder to make profits on it. eBay, changing their promoted listings now so that they make more money. But as sellers, it's going to cost us more money with the new promoted listing campaign that they're bringing in. Every 6 months, we've got postage rates that go up. We know that. We know that we have postage rate increases every 6 months, but it doesn't make it easier. It still hurts the bottom line every 6 months. Comes around pretty quick every 6 months. We go into charity shops, they're getting more and more expensive. We see these thrift shops, charity shops, they're very boutiquey now because they're not just there for, I'm not going to say, they're there to make money now. They're businesses. Gone are the days of the old style, op shop, thrift shop. Gone are those days. Thrift shops are there now. They're businesses. They're there to make money as well. That's why they got high prices now when you go in. As resellers, we need to be constantly looking at the ways that we're making our money and really looking at our numbers and make sure we're not doing a lot of work for a little bit of money. And I know for one, even though my sales have been good, I've been making more money than I ever have on eBay, I'm still not making enough money to be able to put money aside and invest or put money towards my financial future. I still don't have enough of I still don't feel like I've got enough money for financial freedom. I'm still got to work, don't I? I can pull back sometimes, but yeah. What do we got? 4 books left. I'm probably rambling now. Bear with me, guys, till we finish this pile. And then we can high five and give ourselves a win and celebrate getting rid of the pile of photography. Since that's what our dopamine likes. Okay, we're nearly done. We're nearly done. Look at me getting faster almost as I photograph. It's almost like a, come on, come on. That motivation, like, yay, look, it's nearly done. I've nearly won. Keep going, keep going. But I know deep down I may have eliminated the pile there today, but I don't think I've seen one book in this pile, maybe one. There was one small book that I could probably say I'll list for more than $20. And every other book in this pile will probably be listed for $19.99, which is not the desired metric I want for my store. You know, it's not I don't want the majority of the books going into my store at $19.99. Okay, last one. Last one. We're all going to high five together. Actually, you know what? We're not going to high five until this box set is done. So let's go. Right, you watch. It's not even going to take long. It's just me in my head like, oh, it takes so much longer to do the bundles. No, it actually doesn't. I mean, it does take a little bit more. And you do need to kind of put them on some different shelves. It's not as easy to just do shelves. But come on, this bundle's worth $100. Like, wouldn't I prefer to sit here and photograph this like this and make $100? This box set actually sells for $100. Like, and here I am photographing books that are $20 while this box set is sitting right next to them. I didn't even have to move to grab it. Yet I actively choose to constantly grab the $19.99 listings instead of these ones. And yes, it's a little bit more work in the photos, but come on. For the extra amount of money, if every single sale was going for $100 and only took this much extra time, we'd all be doing that, wouldn't we? What's wrong with us? What's wrong with me? Can somebody in the comments tell me I'm not the only one? Can anyone relate to this? It's like things as well, the project pile. People buy things. Oh, clothing seller, I bought something and there's no button, there's a button missing. So it goes into the project pile. And the project pile is basically the pile of stuff to do. So it's a bit like me with the stickers on the books. They become the project pile. Clothing sellers might be like, oh, I bought this and now it's got a hole and I need to sew it up, or it's got a button missing. But it could be a really, really highly profitable item. Might only take you 5 minutes to fix, but it'll be worth it. Look at that, guys. It's done. Wasn't that bad, was it? It wasn't that bad. Took a few extra steps, but it's going to sell for $100. Hopefully, now I've said that. Oh, I'm going to finish this video off. Thank you for watching me smash down one of my piles. High five to me. High five to everyone smashing their files. Now go away and start thinking about, are you doing the tasks that actually make you the most money in your everyday business so you can hit your goals and hit the why of why you're actually doing this business? And if your business goals are for financial freedom, go and list the stuff that's worth more money. Rant over.